Yo, I stream on Twitch from time to time. Come join it, man. Or not. That's up to you.
Feel like I'm next, I swear that I feel like the last. Feel like I'm next, I swear that I feel like the last. Feel like I'm next, I swear that I feel like the last.
Imagine being in Florida. Hotter than a witch coochie. I be saying that, bruh. Alright, let's see what this Hello Kitty murder is talking about.
In one of the most infamous crimes to ever come out of Hong Kong, a woman is held captive, severely mistreated, and eventually murdered. However, what made this case so infamous is how they treated her after the fact.
What? You seen this before?
Got a packed schedule this fall and don't have much time to figure out what to cook? How about trying some more interesting food that's already chosen for you? With HelloFresh, you can try out a variety of global flavors, all from your own.
No.
Tested so often, I decided to dig deep into it, as deep as I could, and
He
give
looked
it
like-
the whole in full detail treatment.
Hey, I seen Megan is Missing.
I think that
I was supposed to see that. Like, I think it's on. Megan is Missing. I heard that's a really. Bro, y'all gotta stop bringing up scary stuff, bro. Don't bring up no scary. Megan is Missing. I seen like a clip of it, but they said watch the rest if you want to see like the crazy messed up parts about it. So I'm gonna watch that. Probably tonight. What can I watch it on? What's it on? I didn't go to sleep for a while. Never mind, I'm not watching it. Nope. And I'm home alone right now, bro.
Paint a picture as to how truly
Absolutely
horrible
not.
it
Shout out to the 6 people, bro. What? Y'all, I'm so close to being affiliate on Twitch, man. I'm gonna come back in 17 minutes so I don't get nightmares.
really is, and buckle up
I don't blame
because it's disturbing. This is the story of a woman out in Hong Kong named Fan Man Yi. Fan did not have the best life, to say the least. She was abandoned in her childhood, forcing her to grow up in an orphanage. However, this would only be until she reached the age of 15, as that orphanage had an age limit in place. Given that she was never adopted and had no place to live, she soon became homeless. Soon after that, she became addicted to drugs. Fan ended up having to resort to prostitution, working at a brothel to get by and even feed herself. When Fan Man Yi was in her early 20s, she was able to get a job as a dancer at the Empress Karaoke nightclub. She eventually fell for one of her clients, who was unfortunately another drug addict who only ended up enabling her. Despite this, they got married in 1996. Her husband, however, soon began mistreating her.
Uh-oh.
Still though, she stayed with the man, and they actually had 2 sons together over the next couple of years. Their fighting only worsened though. The neighbors would often wake up to not only the sounds of the children screaming, but the sounds of the
Hello Kitty murder in complete detail. I never heard of the Hello Kitty murder. It sounds crazy, bro. Any type of murder cases that happens outside of the U.S. be very sadistic and insane, bro. So
couple themselves
I'm trying to
screaming
listen
as
to
well
what's
as
going
they
on.
argue
I do like
all
true crime
throughout
though.
the night. By early
Wait, do all of y'all know about the Hello Kitty murder case? The way you said, oh shit, bro. Did everybody know about the Hello Kitty murder case except me? And like, I'm heavy into true crime, so we can watch. If y'all, everybody knows about it but me. Okay. This case is crazy. Oh my God. Okay. So we can start watching horror stuff. We can start watching. We still got to get into the body cam videos. We're going to start watching body cam videos.
Called the Romance Villa in Kowloon. After working there for a while, she ended up meeting a 34-year-old man named Chan Man Lok. Chan was said to have been a wealthy socialite, well known throughout the area. Fan was immediately drawn to him, as she was a prostitute who was addicted to drugs, and he was a drug dealer that also worked as a pimp.
A match
He
made
would
in
often
heaven.
pay her for long, all-night sessions where they would binge crystal meth, or ice, which he supplied.
He said binge crystal meth like it's a freaking TV show. I got a piss, bro. I'm scared. Bro, I'm scared. I'm here by myself, bro. I'm ready for my family to get here. I'm scared.
It wasn't too long before Fan was integrated into Chan's inner circle. She was there along with several of his little underlings, his henchmen, if you want to call them that. Chan Man Lok was a member of the Triads, a large Chinese organized crime syndicate. He wasn't someone to be messed with. Hell, he wasn't even someone you should associate with for your own safety.
You don't gotta tell me what it
However,
was.
Fan got too comfortable around him regardless. One night, during one of their binges, she stole his wallet, gaining the equivalent of about $4,000 US. That would prove to be the biggest mistake of her life. Chan found out about this and was furious. She agreed to pay him back with $4,000 that she was to earn.
You want me to press pause? You want me to press pause, Cruel? I'm scared, bro. You see me? I'm like this behind the bottle, bro. I'm like, bruh. You want me to pause it or what? Yeah, just go pee. You want me to pause it? 2 minutes? Okay. We're gonna wait on Cruel. Bro, my phone is drier than my ankles, man. Alright, let's get back into it, y'all. We're only 4 minutes in,
He
bro.
wasn't happy with this, though, and demanded $10,000 of interest. Fan stated that she would need a good amount of time to pay that interest off fully. Cham Unlock was furious about his stolen money. It wasn't even about the money, it was the fact that Fan even had the audacity to steal from him in the first place. In March of 1999, he got 2 of his men to kidnap Fan and take her back to his apartment on Granville Road. It was a massive apartment consisting of 5 bedrooms and was all decked out in Hello Kitty merch for some reason. Hello Kitty was on the curtains, on the bed sheets, adorning the walls, and there were even plushies all over the place. Chan planned to pimp Fan out and force her to work non-stop until her debt to him was fully paid off. But he was never satisfied with any amount of money she would earn. He kept increasing the interest on her debt more and more until it became impossible for her to ever pay him back. There simply wasn't any way that she could keep up with the constantly spiking increase to the debt. So in addition to making her work even more, the gang started taking their frustrations out on her as well. They began to hit her and strike her repeatedly very often. She would often be so bruised and battered that she couldn't even work. Despite this, the group would continue to get high and subject her to even more beatings. They enjoyed themselves far too much while doing so, often laughing at her pain. This was when things got really out of hand, and you may be thinking it's already out of hand, and you would absolutely be right, but it's about to get much, much worse. The group that tortured Fan consisted of Chan Man Lok, the leader, Leung Wai Lung, a subordinate gangster of his who has said to have been either 19 or 21.
So now I'll
and
be able to get on your nerves.
Age 26, another one of his underlings. But there was soon one new member to that group, a 14-year-old minor named Ah Fong. She, although she had been reported to be one of the girlfriends of one of his underlings, ended up being a victim of Chan himself as he groomed her more and more over time. This girl, though, despite being very young and obviously manipulated, was ice cold herself. She very much enjoyed helping the group to mistreat Fan.
Right.
She would even...
These people look so innocent, bro. But like, the most innocent people would be the ones doing the craziest things.
Giggle and laugh hysterically while doing so. She took the opportunity to get creative and would even come up with her own ways to brutalize the woman herself. She was always ready and willing to join in. The group, unsatisfied at the amount of money Fan was bringing in, continued to mistreat her more and more. They tied her up, punched her, and kicked her all over. They would force themselves on her repeatedly, as much as they wanted. They even forced her to eat excrement. They started hitting her with metal bars.
What?
They even forced her to eat excrement.
They
started hitting her with metal bars, hit her and stabbed her with kitchen utensils, smashed pieces of furniture over her, and even tied her up in a standing position to use her as a punching bag.
And she lived through all of this? No way, bro. No way she lived through all of that. No freaking way. There's no way.
Got to the point that, one day alone, she ended up getting kicked in the head about 50 times.
What?
It has been said that Fan even got pregnant around this time, but the mistreatment continued regardless.
You'll find out.
When she was wounded, barely able to even move, the group would rub spices into her open wounds. To further ensure that she wouldn't be running away or moving much at all, they would burn her legs with hot candle wax repeatedly and even melt plastic over her legs. She was then forced to consume even more urine and excrement. The group would then...
What is excrement? Bro, is that poop? Did they make her eat poop? Let me see if I can... No, bro, ain't no way. Let me see. Excrement. Yep, that's poop. Yep, that's poop.
Force her to smile and say that she enjoyed all of these things.
Yep.
If she refused, they would just mistreat her even worse, getting even harsher with their punishments. All throughout this time, Fan's husband and kids wondered where she even went. They were left with nothing to do but worry about her and hope that she would come home. The group started getting more and more creative, utilizing anything they could find throughout the apartment that could possibly inflict pain, that could be used as a weapon. They would set plastic straws on fire and press them against the bottom of her feet until they were covered in painful burns and blisters. They would then hit her in the feet with sticks and whatever else they could find. All throughout this, they would throw chili oil onto her wounds and dump oyster sauce onto her face. They then
Bro,
made
just
her
take
drink
me
the
out at that point. No way. I would literally myself. No. Bro, I'm not even like, bro, like, what? How have I never heard this case before? All I do is watch true crime majority of the time. I never heard this case.
Of oils afterwards. It was a game they played. If she didn't pretend to be happy, then they would beat her harder. They told her to smile while they burned her. It was a fun atmosphere, said Ah Fong. It got to the point where they started using Fan as a toilet, directly urinating onto her face and sometimes even into her mouth. If she spat any of it out, she was severely punished. Ah Fong once even defecated into a shoebox and forced Fan to eat it, which she thought was hilarious. The group started wrapping her in electrical wires and hanging her from a hook on the ceiling. They would then mistreat her in any way that they wanted,
all
usually
because
hitting
of a
her
dip,
with iron
bro?
bars and leave her there overnight. Eventually, they stopped feeding her entirely. The bodily fluids they would subject her to became her only form of sustenance. They continued to pack her wounds with dirt, spices, salt, and really anything else they could find to make sure that she never felt any sort of relief. Needless to say, after seeing the shape she was in...
I'm not laughing at this. I'm laughing because I said, bro, my God, bro, that's not even...
Potential clients started refusing her services, meaning that she was no longer pulling in any money for the group. Fan would lie on the floor, starving, drifting in and out of consciousness, while the group hung out and watched TV or played video games. She was broken, and playing with her wasn't so much fun after that, but we carried on anyway. There wasn't really anything else to do, said Ah Fong.
Y'all could go play Monopoly,
Ah Fong would
video
gladly
games?
participate in any of the horrible things the group did to Fan,
Uno?
enjoying it all the way, admittedly laughing at everything that happened to her. It was for fun, she later said.
I'm scared.
The full details of what Ah Fong did herself have never been revealed, but it's undoubtedly a very long list, even by her own admission. One night, the group decided to go out for some drinks. To make sure that Fan couldn't escape, they did what they usually did. They tied her up and threw her onto the bathroom floor, locking the door behind them. This sort of mistreatment could only go on for so long. After about a month of this, on April 15th of 1999, Fan finally succumbed to her wounds and passed away, cold, alone, and in pain while her captors were out of the house. After a few days, the group came back to the apartment.
Ain't no way, bro. Like, I can't even say rest in peace, bro. Because ain't nothing was peaceful about, bro. What? I'm literally like shocked. I don't even got nothing to say for real. Like, it's just
stated
crazy.
that
Like,
she
this
had
is
to use
crazy.
the restroom. When she went into the restroom, she found Fan deceased on the floor. The men began to discuss amongst themselves. They needed a way to get rid of the body, but they couldn't decide on which method would be best. They even argued about
worse?
what likely...
She's dead. What you mean? She's dead.
Caused her death, obliviously, most of them believing that it was probably an overdose that did her in. Most experts agree, though, as you can assume, that it was more likely the actual injuries that led to her death. So, deciding to put a pin in it for now, they decided to go to the arcade and play some video games, all while Fan laid in the bathroom. After a while, they came back home.
I did too until I keep trying to say she when it's actually a guy. He got such a soft voice.
And did nothing about the problem. The next day, while completely high, Chan came to a conclusion. He gathered up his little posse and told them, now she must be destroyed.
Huh?
They put her into the bathtub and got to work with a handsaw. Once the body was divided up into more manageable portions, they cooked each piece to prevent further decay and to get rid of some of the smell, boiling the pieces on the stove. Chan woke up Ah Fong, who was sleeping, and waved a bag of guts in front of her. He told her to go put them into some hot water to stop them from smelling. Leong Xing Cho was in the middle of boiling the head himself and called Ah Fong over to come and look at it. She said that she was scared and didn't want to look, but he said, "It's okay, just pretend you're watching TV." She decided to give it a peek and decided that he was right. It looked like something out of a horror movie. Given that this had already taken 10 hours, the group started getting pretty hungry. How they could even get an
Don't tell me, bro. Don't tell me that they do what I think they're finna do. Don't tell me.
appetite while all of this is going on is maybe one of the biggest mysteries about this case, if you ask me. While boiling Fan's head in a pot, stirring it ever so often, they decided to throw some noodles onto the adjacent burner. They used the same spoon to stir their soup as they did to stir the head, alternating between the two.
Nightbody's not
By
the
the
time
time
right now.
their meal was over, the head was now nothing but bone. They decided to take the skull and sew it into the head of one of their Hello Kitty plushies, a large mermaid one. This is obviously where the name of the case comes from. It's still unknown why they even decided to go through the trouble of doing this.
What?
Given how drug-fueled the whole operation was, it's safe to say that
What?
if there even was a reason, it might not make a lot of sense now. Other bits as well, namely a tooth and some organs. However, they disposed of the rest in the apartment complex's garbage. Things were quiet for about a month. It seemed that they had gotten away with all that they had done. That all changed 1 month later in May. Ah Fong made her way out to a local police station. She told the police that she was being haunted by a ghost, oddly enough.
Good.
She told the police that this particular ghost had been tied up in electrical wire and murdered. The police, though, given that this was simply a ghost
she came back
story,
and get him.
didn't take her very seriously at all.
That's the actual Hello
They
Kitty
brushed
corpse.
it off, assuming that she was just having nightmares or being silly. This
showed that to
was,
the Hello Kitty
however,
people.
until Ah Fong told them that she had
These are like actual case pictures? Bro. We got like 7 more minutes, bro. DVN. Oh my god. Oh my god.
had played a part in the murder of this particular woman. This obviously changed things drastically. The police asked her for more details and eventually followed her out to where all the carnage took place, the apartment. This is where they discovered that her nightmares
feeling
were very
guilty,
much
huh?
indeed based in reality. Inside, she pointed them to the Hello Kitty mermaid doll, and inside they found the skull. The whole group was found, arrested, taken in, and
This
taken
is so
to trial.
crazy.
Ah Fong, which likely isn't even her real name, by the way, it's
That's how they. Wait, why they got the? Why they got the bags on their head? Is that what they do in Hong Kong when they arrest people? That's what they do. It's not funny, but like, why?
It's likely a pseudonym given to her by the court system, decided to testify against the other members of the
I
group.
want everybody to
She
know who
told
these
the police
sadistic
that
people
she
are.
was Chan Man-lok's girlfriend, but she was also very likely one of his prostitutes as well.
I wouldn't touch
When
them,
asked
bro.
why they had done all of
I
this,
would.
she simply said, "I have a feeling it was for fun." This case quickly became a spectacle all throughout Hong Kong. Most citizens had never heard of a case coming anywhere near this magnitude before. Being a pretty safe modern city, they couldn't imagine something so sinister going on so close by. One element of this case that fascinated them was the terrifying juxtaposition of one of the most grisly crimes they'd ever heard of meeting with one of the cutest icons they could think of.
Like
The mixture of
Hello
horror and
Kitty?
innocence stood out to a good amount of people. The trial would go on to last for 6 months. Ah Fong went on to testify in exchange for complete immunity. In order to
No.
placate Fan's ghost and finally get some
All-
peace,
all
she
of them need to
spilled
be
all
sentenced
the
to
gritty
death
details.
in GTA.
Every single disgusting detail of every single disturbing thing that the group did. She said that this was in order to relieve her guilt and stop the haunting. During the trial, material evidence relating to the case was presented to the court.
Why they just got it out like this? Shouldn't it be somewhere super secured, bro? Everybody's hovered over with them fat cameras, man. Shouldn't it be somewhere like super secured? Well, I'm sure they took the skull out, but still, like, why they just got that out like that?
Room. This included the refrigerator where the body was kept, the pots
okay.
used in
They was
cooking,
taking it out of the house.
and the actual skull itself. It has been said that the stench radiated throughout the entire courtroom.
I bet.
Psychiatrists evaluated the three men, who went on to describe them to the courts as...
Hey, bro, if you would have just seen these guys on the regular, bro, you would not think they would have done something so sick, man. Like, what? They don't look like, especially Mr. Blowfish right here. They don't look like they'll do some crazy stuff like that. Well, he might. This guy right here, he might. But he don't.
being completely remorseless. There was one massive roadblock to the case, though. Given the way that Fun's body ended up, there wasn't any
the middle guy,
for sure reason to find out what actually had happened to her. They couldn't come up with a concrete cause of death given the evidence that they had to go off of. It could have been from the abuse, or it could have actually been due to an overdose. As a result, the men weren't convicted of murder, but instead of manslaughter. The jury had come to believe that they had indeed caused her death, but they couldn't agree on whether or not there was intent. They couldn't rule out that the men did intend to kill her, but they also couldn't rule out that they didn't. There was simply no way to know for sure.
Looking like a puppy combo character.
Despite all of the doubts and the charges being reduced to manslaughter, the court justice, Peter Nguyen, was having none of it.
They scared
In
him.
December of 2000, he sentenced the three to life in prison. Sadly enough, though, this sentence did come with the possibility of parole. It wouldn't be for 20 years, though. Never in Hong Kong in recent years has a court heard of such cruelty, depravity, callousness, brutality, violence, and viciousness, he said. The public is entitled to protection
even
from
after 20 years, they should not have parole.
While if this had taken place in mainland China, all three would have likely been executed pretty swiftly. Hong Kong did not have a death penalty. Fan's husband came out and spoke of the sentencing. It seems that he was satisfied with them getting life in prison. He did, though, end by saying, "But how can I ever forget?" Ah Fong was released, free of charges, into foster care.
She made her eat. Wait, what?
Ah Fong was released, free of charges, into foster care. It's currently unknown where she is now or how she turned out. The lawyers of the three men tried to appeal.
Wait, why was she released? Bro, did she make her eat the increment? She made her eat the increments.
The case in 2003, but they had no luck. The sentence was upheld.
Yeah,
Those three monsters weren't going anywhere. In 2014, the courts finally
We don't want to see it!
cremated. The apartment building, located at 31 Granville Road, Tsim Sha Tsui, Hong Kong, where the murder took place, was eventually demolished entirely in September of 2012.
Right, why they showing
After several years, in 2016, it was rebuilt as a hotel that still exists to this day.
Man, I ain't going
the actual location where the murder took place is now, by some irony, a restaurant. 20 years came and went, and in 2020, it seems that the trio never did get their parole, as there's no news out there of their release. That is, except for one of the men. The Yongxing Cho was actually released in April of 2014. It seems that his lawyer was able to appeal and convince the courts that there wasn't sufficient evidence against him.
He like the main
As you might assume, it wasn't too long before he was on the police's radar again. Just recently, in January of 2022, while he was working as a waiter, he groped the chest of a female minor, only 10. And even more recently, he was sentenced to 12 months in prison for that. So, as of the writing of this video, he is back in prison. Time will tell if they end up seeing parole in the future. There ended up being a few movies released throughout the years that told the story of this case.
I want to see that movie.
One of them was called Human Pork Chop with... My God, have some tact, come on. Another was called There's a Secret in My Soup. This case even became well enough known overseas that it was featured in an episode of Bone.
Them movies have to be made over in other countries. Because if it was made in America, they'll probably name it What would they name if it was made in America? They'll probably name it. It'll probably be called Hello Kitty. It'll probably be called Hello. No, it'll probably be Hello Kitty Murder if it was made in America. But them movies had to be made in another country. Now, America, they at least got some type of hospitality. They care a little bit. Or not the secret of Hello. The dark side of Hello Kitty.
It's an American crime drama. To this very day, Fan Man-yi's memory is kept alive every year when citizens of Hong Kong celebrate her life on her birthday with a candlelight vigil in the center of the city.
Man, she doesn't deserve to go through that. Nobody does. Nobody deserves to go through nothing crazy like that.
Once again, thank you for watching my video.
You're welcome,
so if you
my boy.
found it interesting, please give it a like. It helps me out.
He looked like a version of Fred Figglehorn. He like Fred. Hi, it's Fred. Yeah, he looks like him. Alright, crew got another video for us. Shout out, crew.